you realize that although your goal is to get to your first six figures in revenue and beyond, that it isn't about money. Money is a tool. It isn't the money that we truly want. It's what money can buy. Objects that bring us joy, experiences that we will never forget, support for those we love, stuff like that. If you spend all your time making money, but not using it as a tool to live a life of your design, then you are hustling backwards. Today, we are going to talk about taking steps to live a life of doing the things we love with the people we love. All right. Because that's what life is supposed to be about. So let's talk about time blocking life worth living. From this week's blog, Weekly Time Management for Your First Six Figures. This blog for this week is located at shaycannon.com/weekly. Put that in the chat. shaycannon.com/weekly, because the series that we are ending today is Weekly Time Management for Your First Six Figures, but it's been all about having the life that we want, but doing the things with our time that begets us the life that we want, right? So we kind of talked about time management not really being the management of time, because time is time. You cannot manage time. You can only manage yourself in the time that you have, okay? So what we talked about on Monday in part one, we talked about weekly business routines that increase your revenue. Okay. We talked about why that's important, what that is, and we talked about the 5 biggest obstacles to doing it. And we gave you some quick tips on how to solve those obstacles. So if you need that, go back to part one. All right. On Tuesday, that was part two. We talked about rest and recharging routines that boost business revenue. Okay, we talked about what it is, why it's important. We talked about the top 5 obstacles and some quick tips on how to solve them. So if you need to know how to get more rest and recharge yourself as a matter of routine so that you can make more money, back to part 2. On yesterday, it was part 3. We got into a bit of a rowdy conversation, stepped on some toes yesterday, because we talked about health routines that drive revenue. Some of you are focusing on everything but your health, but at the moment that you have to focus on your health, nothing else is more important, right? So we talked about that. We talked about 5 obstacles, 5 quick tips for that. If you need that conversation, Dr. Ayana stepped up and gave her some of the expertise that's worth thousands of dollars to these people paying her to come speak to corporate audiences. She gave it to you yesterday. So go back to yesterday's replay if you need more on health routines, okay? Today, we're going to talk about and end this series and kind of round it off very well. We're going to kind of put it all together and put it in perspective for you, okay? We're going to talk about time blocking a life worth living, okay? So let's go to the blog. Building a 6-figure business is important, but not if it comes at the cost of living your life. I always say your business is supposed to fund your life, not be your life. Weekly time slots for lifestyle and living are a deliberate choice to fill your life with moments that matter, not just work that pays. It's going to be a lot of zingers in this one today. So this isn't about slacking off or being lazy. It's about creating a life worth the grind. Another quote from me: you don't get the life that you want, you get the life that you calendar, okay? If you don't intentionally create space for these moments, the business will consume every available hour. It's always something to do in your business, okay? One day you'll look up from your laptop after months of hustling, only to realize you missed your kid's recital, canceled every dinner date, and haven't laughed in weeks. That's not 6-figure freedom. That's 6-figure imprisonment. When you calendar lifestyle time, you reconnect with why you're building the business in the first place. It keeps you grounded, prevents burnout, and brings fresh energy and perspective back to your business, which, let's be clear, drives revenue far more sustainably than running yourself into the ground. So For ways to design your CEO life, check out a show that I have on Dr. Tachi's Indie Soup Network. It's called Design Your CEO Life. You can go to shaycannon.com/design to catch the replay of the first 2 seasons. We're about to end season 3 soon, so we'll put that over there. But hey, go on YouTube and look up Indie Soup Media Network, and make sure that you're subscribed, okay? Now, that's the blog, but here on the morning show, we give you more. So let's get into this discussion, okay? We're going to start with the top 5 obstacles to revenue caused by routinely neglecting lifestyle and living life, all right? Number 1, you forget what you're working for, okay? Without intentionally defining time for your lifestyle, your goals become hollow. Your motivation starts to fade. Your business should fund the life that you want, not be your life. So what is the quick tip here? The quick tip is you need to take time to actually define and design the life that you want so that you know what your why is. And when you define it, I need you to post that somewhere that's in your work area. So you see it every day while you're working. You're reminded constantly of why you're working. Because see, you're not working for money, okay? You're working to live the life that you want. All right, number 2. Your obstacle to revenue based on routinely neglecting the life that you want, you isolate yourself without realizing it. You isolate yourself without realizing it. You're skipping time with loved ones, with friends, or even time for yourself, right? You quietly kill your emotional fuel tank, okay? We need connection. That's one thing about us as human beings. We need connection. So that disconnect spills into your energy, your focus, and your creativity. All right? You are impacted when you isolate yourself. So what is the quick tip? Add a connection day or a weekly connection time slot in your calendar where you can purposefully reach out to the people that you love. Okay. I have one. It's on Sundays. That's usually the day I talk to family. Okay. I have an uncle. It used to be the day I talked to my grandmother before she passed. Then my uncle came in and took her little time slot. So I talked to him every Sunday on the phone. And y'all know I can't stand being on the phone. But as long as I have a date and a time and I know when to turn the phone on or I know when I'm dialing out, I'm okay with that. I just don't like people interrupting me. And I take that time to send a text message to each one of my children to check in. So Sunday is my connection day. So you need to put something in place so that you're constantly reaching out to your people. Because let me tell you how not only does it affect you that when you're going through stuff because you're not talking to people, they don't know what you're going through or they don't know how bad it's gotten since the last time they talked to you because they're not readily available to you while you're going through it. Same thing with your people, right? Some of us have adult kids, all kind of things are happening, but guess what? When things are happening to people, they don't think to reach out. So maybe you need to reach out. And because they have you right there, because you're connected now, they're sharing more of what they're going through. So just think about that. Okay. Number 3 obstacle to revenue call, what is it? Obstacle to revenue caused by routinely neglecting life design is you say yes to everything because your calendar says nothing. Okay? Your calendar says nothing. So when lifestyle time isn't blocked, it looks like you're free. It looks like you'll get to it. It looks like this weekend I'm going to do something fun. But what ends up happening is as the week goes along, you start to feel it with more tasks, more calls, more last minute requests, and you end up overbooked, drained, and resentful. So what is the quick tip? Put what you want to experience in life on your calendar, okay? Be intentional. This week, I'm going to do something and I'm going to put it on my calendar, okay? This week for me, I'm putting something on my calendar. I haven't decided is it going to be Friday or Saturday. I'm going to decide today because today is Thursday. But it's going on my calendar because I need to go out and see some of the things I want to see being here in Da Nang, Vietnam. Because last weekend I rested. So this weekend I'm ready to get out. So I'm going to go ahead and book some excursions. I just got to decide, do I want to do them on Friday or Saturday? Okay. So don't forget, you do not get the life that you want. You get the life that you calendar. So calendar some life stuff in there. Number 4, you treat life as a reward instead of a requirement. Okay? You waiting to live after the launch, after you catch up on stuff, after you hit this goal. All that's doing is keeping joy in permanent delay. Okay? That delay makes your business feel like a punishment instead of a vehicle for your freedom. So, what is the quick tip? Stop looking at your life design as payment for doing things and start seeing it as your birthright. Okay? You deserve to live because you are. Okay? As in, if you are alive, you deserve a life worth living. Okay? So if you start to work on that and you see that you can't seem to shift that mindset, then this is where you need to go get therapy, because you need some tools to help you make that shift, because that shift is highly important. And what you can't do is continue to suffer in silence. Okay? Last but not least, number 5, you think taking time off just happens. Yeah. So without a system that makes lifestyle time a part of your business plan, you constantly feel like you're behind or you're slacking, and you got this guilt that leads to you overworking, and just not really taking time to be intentional about the things that makes life worth living. So the quick tip is, I need you to start with a happiness list. What is something that can make you happy and spark happiness for you daily? So we need a daily list. What is something that sparks happiness weekly? So we need a weekly list. Monthly, quarterly, yearly. And then, of course, we need that bucket list, those once in a lifetime things, right? So me doing this tour of Southeast Asia this year, this was on my bucket list. Okay, this is not something we're going to do every year or routinely. This was a bucket list thing. Okay, but you have to add things as a goal for your personal life and your life design, just like you have goals for your business. Okay, then we start to incorporate them. Your daily list, let's start putting it on the calendar on a time slot daily. Your weekly list, let's get it on the calendar for weekly. Monthly, let's get something on the calendar for the month, something for the quarter, and something for the year. Okay, and let's make sure within the year, can we get a bucket list thing, at least one. Okay, so those are the 5 things that you're doing that's interrupting you living a life worth living, and therefore it's going to impact you being able to make money. Because if you're making money for a better life, but you never lived a better life, what is the motivation for you making more money? All right. So the question of the day is going to be, well, it's a whole little thing. So let me just copy this first and put it in the chat. And then let me put this over on YouTube. Hey, Glow, we got Glow over here on YouTube. Oh yeah, it's too long for YouTube. Let me see. All right, let me see. We're gonna do it this way for YouTube. I'm learning a lot about YouTube and this having a word count. So let's see if this will fit. Dang, I gotta break it up some more to put it over here on YouTube. YouTube, I gotta keep y'all in mind when I'm coming up with these questions, because y'all making me work too hard over here to get this stuff in the chat. I'm putting it all over here for you, Glow, so you can answer it. All right, it's all over there. All right. So the question of the day is attached to something I want you to think about. So I want to tell you that something first. So if you really want to know what people prioritize as a life design, you look at how they spend their time and how they spend their money. Okay? If you want to know what's important to somebody, if you want to know what their priorities are, all you have to do is get an accounting of how they spend their time and how they spend their money. Okay? So the question of the day is, if someone were to look at how you spend your time, what would they say you prioritize as a life design? Okay? And which strategy discussed today, quick tip, will help you keep your time aligned with the life you say you want to live. So think about that while I go back through our 5 obstacles and quick tips. Okay. These were the top 5 obstacles to getting revenue caused by you routinely neglecting the lifestyle that you want. Okay. Number 1 was you forget what you're working for. The quick tip: take time to define that thing and post it where you can see it. Okay. Number 2, you isolate yourself without realizing it. The quick tip: add a connection day or a connection time slot to your calendar so that you can connect with the people that you love. Number 3, you say yes to everything because your calendar says nothing. So the quick tip: put stuff on your calendar that represents how you want to live life, because you don't get the life you want, you get the life that's your calendar. Number 4, you treat life as a reward instead of a requirement. Okay. So the quick tip: stop looking at life as payment for things done and look at it as your birthright. You deserve it because you exist. Okay. Number 5, you think taking time off just happens. The quick tip: be intentional. Create a list of things that make you happy: daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly, and a bucket list, and put those things on the calendar for that duration of time. All right. So we're going to start with Dr. Toya. Dr. Toya, knowing that the priority is where you spend your time and your money, if somebody was to look at how you spend your time, what would they say you prioritize about your life design? And I think it's almost unfair to ask you this because you're better at this than most, but we're going to ask you anyway. And which of the strategies today will help you keep that time aligned with the life that you want to live?
Yeah, so I was like, huh, similar. Like I'm like, yeah, nope, I'm pretty clear about how
Good.
I want to live, and I try to do that. But I will say I do not connect with people. Like, and I think that kind of blocking out the time um,
Mm-hmm.
to just send a quick text and just tell people I don't want to do like multiple rounds of back and forth. Just, hey,
Mm-hmm.
how you doing? Right. I
Yeah.
think that that actually would be a pretty good thing for me. And what was really funny is one day, like we were somewhere and the kids, somebody asked the kid, like we were going around, it was a family event, and everybody they asked the kids, like, based on what you see your parents doing a lot or doing the most, like,
Mm-hmm.
what would you say that that event is? And my kids say that I listen to podcasts and Audible all the time. So I guess education, we're going to say education and knowledge is kind of
Education.
what I,
I like that. I like that. Let me give you a quick tip about connecting with people. Because I hate the back and forth. That's why my the ringer's off on my phone 24/7. What I do is I say, hey, I'm about to go to sleep, but I want to check in with you and let you know that I'm doing this and this. I miss you. I love you. Hey, can you catch me up on you? I'll see it when I get up.
I love that.
Because guess what?
I
That
love
lets you
that.
know it ain't finna be no damn conversation. Summarize this shit so I can know how you doing. Okay.
Yes, I love that. Thank you.
Yeah, because I too don't want to talk, Dr. Toy. So that's another look. Put that on the list, Dr. Toy. That's another way we are alike. All right, let's go to Dr. Tachi. Dr. Tachi, knowing that how people spend their time and their money is what they prioritize about their life. If someone were to look at how you spend your time, what would they say you prioritize about your life design? And what strategies discussed today will help you keep your time aligned with the life that you want to live? Oops.
I'm like Dr. Toya, Dr. Latoya Davis, to be exact.
Okay.
The learning and
Mhm.
it's definitely a prize. So and it's funny, I just made a Be More yesterday where I'm like, if anybody who knows me knows I love challenges and master classes and things like that. I love opportunities to learn to get me to the next level. So I think that's what folks would say. And in terms of what was the last one again? I'm trying to remember the wording of number 5.
Uh, oh, the last obstacle.
Sorry, yeah.
Let me go back to it. It was you think taking time off just happens. And then that's why I talked about the quick tip was the happiness list for things daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly, and bucket lists once in a lifetime.
Yes, I kind of feel like I need to take more time off because part of the thing is what I do, I actually enjoy. So it does not feel like work, but in
Mm.
actuality, it is.
It's
So
still,
I
yep.
think, yeah, I think that's
Mhm.
what I need to do.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, see, I love business. I love all things business. And so either I'm coaching businesses or I'm servicing businesses or I'm learning more about businesses or I'm listening to a business because I love business. But what I had to understand was all of being inundated with everything I do being about business, I was starting not to love it. So I had to pull back and made sure that my off time had that line of demarcation where I wasn't doing business. So y'all know I had to go back to my books about werewolves, so I could just off time is truly off, because if I'm inundating myself with something, even though I love it, it becomes too much. So yeah, and this is why I like to separate my business communication from my personal communications. This is why I'm so hard on clients about hitting me up on my personal devices and stuff, because I'm trying to rest and take a break from business. And even though I may not answer you, if you ask me a question, my brain has started working it out. You are robbing me of my downtime. And so I have a very visceral reaction to that, to stop that from happening. So yeah, I understand, Dr. Tachi. Let's go to Dr. Ayana. Dr. Ayana, knowing that the way people spend their time and money is a direct reflection of what their priorities truly are. If someone were to look at how you spend your time, what would they say you prioritize as a life design? And which strategies from today will help you keep your time aligned with the life that you say you want?
Hey, good morning, everyone. I think that if someone were to look at my personal accounting, they would see that I really prioritize socialization and I guess, how should I put it? uh, wellness. And what I
Okay.
mean by that is curtailing my intake, curtailing physical activity, things like that. I put a lot of resources and time into that. So I am a chronic socializer.
Mhm.
Uh, since the time I was in elementary school, my teachers would report back, "Hey, she's a good student, but she just talked too damn much. She loves to chat, honey." In
Yeah.
fact, my friends will tell you, if you text me too much, my attitude gets bad. Pick up your phone. I need to hear your voice. We need to talk and
Yeah.
reach out and touch one another, because I just believe in that warm touch. I do try my very best to make my rounds and touch loved ones periodically. Sunday used to be my day for doing that, but I've made it a point now, with the way life goes, and a lot of these surprises we're getting with people leaving here. If somebody pops up in my mind, particularly 2 or 3 times, I make it a point. Let me pick up the phone because this person is on my mind. So strategies to help me keep on track with that. I think I'm pretty good with delineating personal versus work time and prioritizing things that make me happy. But I don't know, maybe I could refine and be improve. I can improve by making a happy list and making sure that I am actually on track
I
with
love
things that, that make me happy, and why I go to the rock mine every
that.
day.
Okay, love that. I think you should also put on your list that you like to email people and make them feel like all they can have to eat is ice to be healthy. I think you should put that on there because I feel
That's
attacked.
my ministry.
All right, all right. Let's go to Heather. Heather, if you really want people to know what you prioritize in life, you look at their time, how they spend their time, and how they spend their money. If someone were to look at how you spend your time, what would they say you prioritize as a life design? And what strategy discussed today will help you stay aligned, your time aligned with how you say you want to live your life?
I think that they would, if they took a look at my schedule this week in particular, it is covered in calls and research for the news, and also my 2 mornings at the stables. But in actuality, I, prioritizing time with Zeta is huge for me because she's here, and I never thought I'd be able to have this opportunity. So, this is a really special time. And I don't know how long it's going to last. So I'm taking as full advantage of it as I can.
And for
But
people
what
who don't know, that's her grandbaby, one of them.
yeah, the younger one,
Yeah.
the one who lives upstairs and talks all the time and comes downstairs and interrupts me. But I think when I'm looking at the list that you gave us,
Mhm.
honestly, I do get into a grind where I feel like I lose sight of why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Mhm. That's
You know,
human. Mhm.
so I think, making sure that I articulate the why and post it, and then keep that in mind and write it in my planner also. Because as Dr. Ayana said, I believe it was Tuesday, and I know this too from writing pen and paper, it's recall and it sticks in your brain, and it creates almost a direct line from the paper to your memory. So I need to do more of that.
Love it. Love it. All right, let's go to Cheryl. Cheryl, knowing that if you want to know what someone's priorities are, you look at how they spend their time and their money. If someone would look at how you spend your time, what would they say you prioritize as a life design? And which strategy discussed today will you keep in mind to align your time in the life that you want to live?
Oh, this is a loaded question. If you were to look at my bank account, you'd see planners, concerts, movies, that kind of stuff. Because when I got the divorce, I decided that I was going to focus on me. And so I have um, my besties are spread out around the world. So we get on Zoom and we have besties time. We plan, girl trips. Our first one actually is going to be in January. We're going to start the new year together. Um, you'll see planners. I love planners. I love work and
Okay, so
business.
you talking about your money though. What about your time? If they would look at how
My
you spend
my time,
your time.
it's the same thing. You see me with the planners. I plan life
Okay.
because I can forget. There's a lot of things I want to do, so I have to schedule it and plan it so that I can do them consistently. Reading, singing, still working on the CD. Just uh, oh goodness, cooking. I create tasty but healthy recipes.
Ooh,
Um,
don't say what they are, because Dr.
oh no,
Ayana
I'm
would
not
just
going to.
for your life
That's
via email. Don't say
no.
nothing.
Y'all can buy the cookbook. Dr.
Oh,
Ayana can send me
waiting.
that
I
when
was
you
waiting. I was waiting for your list, Cheryl. I'm about to
Listen,
start
don't say
monitoring.
it. Don't say it, Cheryl. I'm telling you, save yourself
I'm
some time.
waiting.
Don't say it.
Let's see. Oh, I love experimenting with beauty products and makeup looks and all that good stuff because I believe that makeup should enhance your features, not give you a whole new face that makes that man run away when he see you without the makeup because he don't know you.
Tell the
Um,
people.
the reading and the writing, yes, that's my job, but that is my pleasure. I mean, oh goodness, when I was 16, I read so much during the summer, I strained my eyes, and the doctor said, "You can't read for a few weeks." I was like, "No, life is over." It's you can definitely tell what's on there, by looking at my calendar. Um, I have personal development time. I love that wardrobing. As a matter
Mm,
of fact, I'm in a new phase where I want another new wardrobe. So I'm working with my 12 pieces for the 72 outfits. And I could
mm,
go on, but this is a time in my life when it is for me. And I keep not a happiness list. I keep a happiness notebook. It's like a vision book. This is what's happening this week, this quarter, that kind of thing. And I do reward myself with those personal projects that, you know what, maybe it's time to take a trip and be gone for 30 days. So this is something that has come on recently. So no, I have to say too, Shay, that the whole this whole panorama of activities and pleasures has been enhanced by watching you live your life that you schedule, that you calendar in your travels. And it's like, I have in my happiness vision book, is that life is
mhm.
not a rehearsal. You see what I'm
Yes.
saying? It's the real thing. So we don't get a do over unless God does some miracles. But we're not gonna count on that. We're gonna make the time count that we have here. And I'll stop because you hit on a subject that you know I'm always telling my besties, you need to take time and do this and do that. What is it money was no object and you had to do something for 50 years. What would that something be? Most people
Mm,
can't answer that question. They really have to think because they're so busy serving and being available for others, they've left themselves out of the equation. And I'll leave it at that.
Thank you. Thank you for all of that. Thank you so much. Kimberly, we don't know what you're doing. Last time we saw you glance on camera, you was driving. We don't know if you want to come off the mic. Okay, well, there you go. So let me ask you the question. If people were to look at your time, what would they say you prioritize as a life that you want to live? And what strategy from today do you think will help you to align your time with the life that you want to live?
Well, if people looked at me and said, "What do I prioritize?" They would say absolutely nothing, because I haven't prioritized myself in a long time, and I have a bad habit of putting my 10 fingers in 10 bowls instead of concentrating on one. But the one thing that I can say, as far as the connecting is big for me. I used to talk to my dad every Sunday before he passed, but now it's my brother. My brother's 20 years older than me, so it's like talking to my dad. And then, but I also now started doing video calls, so like video recording calls. So I'll send them a text message, but it's a video, just saying, "Hey, I love you," just saying hi. So that's the one thing I'm prioritizing, is that, and then scheduling my me time, or I don't know which number that is, but I heard you saying scheduling, putting yourself on your calendar. So that's what I'm doing.
I love that. I love that. Okay, cool. Let's go over here to YouTube, and Glow is over here. And what she said was, they would say, "I like to travel and stay on the go, but sometimes I like taking time for me, but also be feeling like my schedule won't let me, because I like being available for my clients." You need to put some structure around them clients, baby, so you can still live life, Glow. But also she said, when I think it was Dr. Ayana said she was talkative. She agreed with you, Dr. Ayana. She said, "That's me, I'm talkative." All right, cool beans. So this has been a whole week about just, taking time and looking at a weekly duration to create these routines that are going to help you to live a full life, right? So there's going to be weekly routines for your business. There are going to be weekly routines for you to get rest and recharge. There are going to be weekly routines for you to take care of your health, your mind, and your body. There should be weekly routines for you to actually live life. So does anybody have any questions about anything we've talked about this week? Do you have any value adds, or do you have any aha moments? Cheryl.
Yes. Would you give the list of 10 things? My life wheel had 8 things on there. And when I attended the talk that you did with the young lady, you know what I'm talking about, right? I
I
can't remember
do,
the
and
name.
I'm going to show it later. So put a pin in it.
Oh,
Put a
okay.
pin in it.
Okay.
And I'm
Will
actually
do.
going to show it.
Okay.
All right. Did anybody else have a question, a value add, or an aha moment this week about how you should be spending your time? We looked at the duration of a week, because we can't do everything every day. But I feel like within a week, you can touch on a lot of stuff during a week. So we pick that duration of time, how we should be adding in life of the week. Any questions, value adds, or aha moments? Dr. Tachi.
Value add, just thank you for adding in the human part of this. Not that it's not human when we normally talk, but it's often focused on the business, which we need. But in business, there are humans running it. So thank you for covering this.
Of course, no problem. And that's why I got business out the way the first day, right? Because I feel like that when I focus on helping you get to your first 6 figures, but I'm always adding in there that time freedom, because your life is not supposed to be the business. It's supposed to fund that life of freedom that you want. It doesn't have to be as extreme as mine, living all over the world every other week. But whatever you define as freedom, how you want your life to be, it should be reflected in how you spend your time, how you spend your money, or else it's not so. It's only in your head. You just telling people. You've met people who say that they value family, but then they always at work, right? Or when they do have off time, they're with their friends. They're not really spending time with their kids. So you have to, where you spending your time and where you spending your money is where your actual priorities are, not where you say your priorities are. So thank you for that, Dr. Tachi. Anybody else?
This is
Cool beans?
Cheryl. I'll just say
Okay.
one more thing.
Mhm.
One of the things that I do for me with family time is, my dad passed on a few years ago, but my mom is still here. So I talk to her every day. That's on my schedule. And she loves it because, she's single now and this kind of stuff. And it's really funny listening to how these older men try to hit up on these ladies and what their tired rap is. But
It's
it's something that I've seen that has brought us also closer because we laugh a lot. That wasn't something, you kind of my mom is Southern all the way, so it's always etiquette, genteel things, and she used to model and all that good stuff. So she's a directress. So that's something that, our pastor had mentioned one day. He said, if your parents are still alive, you owe it to yourself to speak to them every day because every day they're a new person at this stage of their lives. So that's something that has really enhanced my life and hers.
cool beans. I love it. I love it. Well, the quick tips that we gave today were great. However, in our paid membership, we give you a system of systems and tools, I should say, to create goal-centric productivity for effective results. One of the tools that helps you to do a deep dive into the type of life you want to live is the CEO Life Design Planner, which will help you define what you want your life to be, what it is right now, and how to bridge the gap so that you can take steps to start living your best life. And we use 10 main areas of life to do that. I'm going to share them with you in just a moment. However, if you want to join the membership, you need to do so this month before it goes up from $97 a month to, well, I know it's going to be at least $127. It might be $147 starting next month. So go to shaycannon.com/membership to be a part of that. Okay. So let me share what what Cheryl was asking me about, because when I talk about life, a lot of people don't understand that there are different areas of life. People tend to think of the area they feel like they have the most problems in. And so they're always kind of putting fires out because it's like they're going from one end to another. I'm gonna go to this area because I need help over here, and then I'm gonna go to this area because I need help over here. When if you just look at the whole thing and start trying to add harmony to actually define your life, that works better. So I'm going to share my screen so that when I say it, you can see it also. But this is the cover to the planner. It's called the CEO Life Design Planner. Your happiness as the CEO leads to better business, better customers, and better profit. All right. So let's do those 10 areas of life. Here they are. So these are what I define as your main areas of life and how you need to be intentional in each of these areas. And so those areas are: number one, business, or if you have a 9 to 5, you can say career, right? Number two is finances. Number three is your environment or your home where you always are. Number four, physical health. Number five, mental health. Number six, spiritual health. Now, that doesn't always look like religion for everybody, but how do you recharge your soul? What do you believe? What is greater than you that you put your belief in? Is your spiritual
That's it.
Is it me or is Shay frozen?
No, it's been frozen for me as well, maybe
Oh, okay.
about a minute or two.
And let me tell you, I don't know what that is because it's what time over here in Vietnam. So who playing with the Wi-Fi? It is late. Like y'all should be asleep. Go to sleep and let me be on this Wi-Fi. But the last area of life was recreation. Thank you guys. I know y'all probably held it down while I was trying to reconnect. But business, finances, environment, your home where you are, what places and surroundings are you in? Physical health, mental health, spiritual health, personal health, your tribe, your contribution, and last but not least was recreation. What are you doing for fun? And these are the things that we talked about kind of today. What is making up your lifestyle that actually makes it the life that you want to live? So those are the 10 areas of life. And I give you a planner that helps you to understand what it is currently, what you want, and then what steps you need to take to bridge the gap to turn it into a life that you want in all 10 of these areas. And that is a part of our membership. Go to shaycannon.com/membership. Sign up before the price goes up. All right, cool. Let's go into some announcements of what's going on in our free business mastermind group. So these show notes today, I'm thinking about, I'm going to include a graphic of the 10 areas of life in the show notes. Okay. Cause I think that is highly valuable. So I'm going to add it in there, but the only way you can get the show notes is either you are in the free business mastermind group and they live in the file section, or you sign up to get the entire morning show in your email inbox. You can go to shaycannon.com/show to get 2 emails every broadcast day. 1 in the morning to remind you to hop on to the YouTube live for the show. 1 in the afternoon with a link to the replay of the show and a link to the show notes. So that's shaycannon.com/show. Now, happening this week, tomorrow, we're having a Get Shit Done work session, which is usually only for the paid membership, but we invite the free group to come in 2 Fridays out of the month to come on the last half. So get more information about that session in the group. All right. So this has been a great week, y'all. As usual, it was more about mindset. It was less about business strategies and more about why you have a business, these freedoms that we want to experience in this life we want to live. But this has been the Her First Six Figures Morning Show, which is more of an interactive coaching and training experience as part of our free business mastermind group that positions Black and brown female online service-based entrepreneurs to generate your first 6 figures. We're trying to teach you how to make the money and create time freedom. So if you want to find out more about me, your host, Shay Cannon, and how to join our highly valuable free business mastermind group, I want you to go to the description below. There's a link and there is more information. All right. Now, you got good information in this episode. I know you did. So give us a thumbs up and like this episode. I also want more of you that are watching, because there's a lot of you that are watching that are not subscribe to the channel. So make sure that you are, so that you don't miss a thing. Also, this has been 1 video out of a 4-video series. So check out the other videos. All right. And with that, the studio is closing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll see you right back here on next week. So have a great day.